This just might be one of the strangest and funniest "What in the World Has Happened Here" videos. Never in 1,000 years did I ever expect Phantom Dragon to have a purpose. And today is the day that the legendary monster of Terrible is relevant. So make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. So, over the weekend, we got to see Chaos Origins hit the ground running. We got to see a brand new meta unfold, and there were a lot of cool tech choices. There's been a lot of interesting things kind of developing in the background. Well, one of those just happens to be Phantom Dragon. Now, you probably might remember Phantom Dragon for being one of those terrible ultimate rares that you could pull back in the day, because it was a terrible card. It was from Light of Destruction, and that was like the only place that you could find it. But it says whenever your opponent special summons a monster, we can special summon this card from your hand, and then 2 of your monster zones cannot be used. Now you're probably asking yourself, whoa, why would I ever want to special summon this? Well, one, you can trigger this effect every time your opponent's special summoned. You can bounce it back. Oh, wait, I'm giving it away. So you're playing this like Mind Shovel. You're exchanging this for other chaos monsters for you to be able to use with the new Yugi deck. And I didn't think that this would be a combination of things that we would see. And also, players have really been innovating with this, with the Mind Shovel strategy in general. It's been really cool to see. And Phantom Dragon happens to be one of those cool components that you're able to use to make the best advantage with it. Yep. And it's already been disappearing. What a combination of things. I didn't expect to ever see this. Now we have a Dark World FTK running around. Now you're probably asking yourself, oh, come on, Robbie. Doesn't Dark World just, lose to Drollin Lockbird? Well, kinda, sorta. But the OCG only has one of them, and there's only one shifter. So how does this FTK end up working? It's because of Hydra Drive Dragon. Konami, they didn't think when they designed Hydra Drive Dragon. Now, what does that mean? Well, Hydra Drive Dragon is just one link monster to go into it. So they didn't soft lock Hydra Drive. They allowed you to go Hydra Drive into Hydra Drive into Hydra Drive. Now, you're probably asking yourself, okay, so how are we doing the FTK? Well, you might not know this, but Hydra Drive actually has a built-in burn effect on it. You're just going to have to find a way to give your opponent some cards on their field. And you know what classical broken card that has existed for, 10 plus years? Black Garden, baby! That's right, Black Garden is the perpetrator of this one. And it all just sets up through Dark World being able to kind of loop their monsters. And then, of course, the only thing the deck's got to do is go, okay, we've arrived at enough link monsters down. Hydra Drive to Hydra Drive to Hydra Drive, and congratulations, you've accomplished an FTK with the deck. This is now week 2 to 3 of this. I just want to remind people, the $8 Dark World structure decks exist out there. Maybe this is an opportunity for you to kind of get ready for that Hydra Drive Dragon, 'cause I don't think the TCG is going to pre-hit this at all. They have absolutely no reason to look at this and even care about it. Phantom Knights with Dark Rebellion. So, the old Dark Rebellion Dragon has just been kind of vanishing in price for the QCRs, which is not surprising to say the least. I mean, you're dealing with an old collectible card that is one of the 4 dragons. There is a little bit of a notion out here that people do want to kind of pick up some of the dragons, and they want to have fun with them, and that's fine. But we have 4 remakes coming for the dragons with wherever the Overframe collection is coming in the near future. I would very much say that we're going to have some great things coming with that. But with that being said, though, Phantom Knights showed up a couple of times over week one. It was enough to kind of get me excited for it, because, you want Phantom Knights to kind of show off some of the power that they can do, but also, you're still playing a rank 3 box. You still need Cherubini to kind of get in there and provide you with kind of the good combo get off the ground, and it should usually work out very, very nicely for this deck. And also, everything Phantom Knight related that I think that you need to pick up pre-Chaos Origins is extremely cheap. Do I think that this deck is going to be a tier 1 deck? I think it'll slot into Rogue. I don't see a necessary reason for this deck to really be bad, because it's got enough fundamental stuff to work with. Also, the Adventure Package is a giant consistency upgrade for this deck, and obviously, consistency will always push these decks up a little bit above the rest. So here's to actually hoping that we're going to get some good consistency out of this, and it's looking pretty fun. Now I got to talk about Vanity's Ruler and the Clowns. Budget Yu-Gi-Oh! No spend real money. Very cheapoo. You're able to play decent deck. Oh wait, but you're still playing Floodgates. Well, there went the budget Yu-Gi-Oh! Players. They've already left the room because for some reason they think that, budget Yu-Gi-Oh! Means that they get to have morals and they're above floodgating their opponents. Yeah, that's a real topic of conversation, by the way. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a game where if you can play within the means and play your cards and win the game, shut up and do it. Just win the game. Alright, obviously, Clowns are the new deck that is going to get to abuse Vanity's Ruler, Majesty's, all of these incredibly stupid cards, because the deck's like Monarchs at home. It's just you summon up some Clowns from the extra deck, because you just have the ability to do that. You can tribute them. You have a spell card that lets you draw cards. And then, dare I say, you can play Lair of Darkness with this as well, and be able to start tributing your opponent's stuff for the viruses. The virus stuff might not be the most consistent approach to this strategy. Let's call it what it is, but that's fine. It doesn't really matter. The point is, these are things that the deck is capable of doing. These are the tools that, gosh darn it, you can actually freely use to be able to work with. So, you gotta seriously think about it here for a second, about the level of interactions that you can get with this deck. And obviously, the reason why I brought up the draw power is because that same card lets you set a spell and trap card from your hand off of, potentially what you've drawn. So if you draw into one of your tool pieces, there you go, people. You get to just kind of control the opponent. It's pretty good. And then I want to talk about the Speed Duel disappearance. So, remember, guys, Konami discontinued Speed Duel because, quote-unquote, nobody wanted Speed Duel cards. And then you kind of look around in the market, and you're like, wow, this community could never be more wrong. Speed Duel cards continue to break everybody's minds as these cards just continue to disappear off of the market. We've already seen some of the highest rarity cards within Speed Duel going up in price, and the community swears and tells me that I'm wrong about this, but market data tells us a completely different story. So just because somebody's mom works in a basement and you're their best friend in the whole wide world doesn't mean that they understand the economics of raw numbers and sales data. Because I'm being harsh today, but this is just, I'm so sick of reading the same shit from people going, well, Speed Duel cards aren't real. Nobody wants them. Then why did all the copies of X card just sell through the market? Oh, well, they don't even have an argument. They're just mumbling underneath their breath. But, the reality of the situation is Speed Duel has become a commodity for certain collectors within the game, whether or not people just want to have those versions of the cards or not. But Speed Duel stuff, it is a topic of conversation that not many people want to have right now. So we'll continue to monitor that. There's been, obviously, the prize cards from the tournament packs are always going to be one thing to watch. The Dark Magician, the Serpent Knight Dragon, the Blue Eyes. Those are very hot cards. But time will tell. Look at the Magician of Faith, for example. you know, it's been a ride. But that's what in the world happened here. Phantom Dragon. Woo! You guys have a good rest of your day, right? Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.